even the business owners had to hit heads at times. So it's best when you're in a community of other people that you can also learn as well. I think I've probably talked too much, so I'll just let Chike chip in before we start the class proper. I'll probably also want some of you to, I think we're few today. Okay, well, yeah, we're just like 15 people. So we'll probably do some introductions. So Chike, I see your, I think let me just join suit and start my video.
Okay, thank you. I really just want people to see my face for the first minute. So much like you, I began UX design from a graphic design background, and then at some point, I was supposed to do graphic design for a website, basically. But I also wanted to dictate to the developer how the site should look like. I don't want it to be too noisy and tacky. So I actually used CorelDRAW to design something, and I shared with him. And then he asked me, "Oh, will you write the code?" And I said, "I can't do that." And he said, "Okay, then he cannot use it." And that's how that ended. And after a few weeks or months, someone said I should help him do something again like that. I used Photoshop, and he actually went on to use it. He built the site to look like how I designed it. And I felt it was cool. Like, I would like to do something like this more and more. I spoke with a few people who I knew who build websites. Asked, "Oh, would you like it if I help you design how your site should look like?" And they're like, "I'm not so sure." This was like around 2014, 15. It was in 18, and now I heard about Adobe XD. I got the software and I loved it. It was perfect. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. Of course, I have switched to Figma since then. I've been using Figma more, and it's been nice. So the point is that UX design is wonderful. It's something that you will enjoy if you have an eye for, you know, arrangement and how things should, be organized. And then if you like to make things easier for people to use, you would enjoy doing UX. That's basically what we do and it's for. I actually come from a healthcare background. I'm in a clinic right now, working. I'm hoping to end my clinical practice this year and switch into design full time. So I think it's something that you can do if you want to change careers or if you have been in tech before and then you want to do something different. I think that something that people can explore. So yes, you'll be seeing more of me over the next few weeks, starting from the upper week, not next week, the week after next week, and then the week after that, and then Gabriel would come back and we go on like until we are done. Yeah. So I'm Tiki Opera and you can call me Tiki.
All right. That was awesome. I think a whole lot. I mean, for you, I'm guessing some people are already on this call. Sorry, I have two screens, so sometimes I'll probably be switching. So let me just focus on this one. Well, I'm looking at you guys from here. What you would notice that a whole lot of people that started in this, maybe, and some of you on this call might also be, maybe you started as a graphic designer, you know a little bit of Photoshop or Illustrator. I remember one of the major first jobs I really did that got some money in my pocket was actually done in Illustrator because at the time, Chiki, I don't know if you can recall, it was only Sketch that was the proper. I mean, there were other tools, but Sketch
Yes.
seemed to be like yeah,
Yes.
tool for UX designers.
You can't even use Sketch on Windows, remember? So if
Exactly,
you don't have
and
Apple, forget about it.
exactly. So, and I was using a Windows computer. I think that was my very first computer that I bought. And I mean, my very first computer that I bought, and Sketch was available for only Mac users. And basically, we didn't have, so most times, a lot of people that started doing UX or started doing UI and UX, I mean, would explain the difference between that probably in this class is that a lot of the people that were doing that were UX designers were using Photoshop, which was basically a graphic editing tool. I was using Illustrator at one point, and I did like probably close to 20. It was a mobile app. That was the first time I was designing a mobile app, and I did close to 30 screens. And every time, when it started, it was all nice, but as the screens increased, so did it take long for me to move between screens, because the file became very, very heavy, and it was a very design centric app, even though I'm so ashamed to share it today because it doesn't look like anything. We've all, everybody has evolved, right? So today we have tools like I even use Marvel to do to design at one point, but today we have tools like Sketch. Sketch is still around. We have Adobe XD, which is really cool. Then we have Figma. So over time, in fact, there was this software before Photoshop. I can't remember. I'll try and it was part of the Macromedia softwares that people were using even before Photoshop. So the truth of the matter is that in UX, tools will always change, but the processes and the fundamentals will always remain the same. So regardless of all the fashions that come out today, you know that you still have the shirt will still be a staple, the t-shirt will always be a staple, the skirt, the blouse will always be a staple, and that is what we're hoping to teach you guys, to not to design the latest fashion, but to nail it down to the basics. So one thing I'm so happy is that when Roland shared the curriculum with us, I knew that, okay, yes, whoever set up this curriculum actually took time to think about what it actually takes to be a UX designer, because these days um, there's a whole lot of focus on being able to design, and which we're going to teach you how to design. But the most important thing I want you all to get from this class is that there are some people who are UX designers, whether you believe it or not. There are some people who are UX designers that don't know how to design. In fact, they don't even design at all. You get, so it's in our industry, there's a whole lot of focus on the visuals, but and people are lacking on the fundamentals like research, um, put, not okay, not even prototyping, research, writing, UX writing, conducting interviews, and all those things that are not glamorous, basically. So we're hoping to take you through the next 13 weeks, and hopefully I think the biggest joy for either I or Chike or Roland is that when someone says, maybe in the next 6 months, the next 12 months, the next two years, one of you would say, okay, this was my first introduction to UX design, and currently I'm working somewhere and I'm doing good stuff and I'm earning money, right? So I think beyond just what you guys are here for, our own joy is you being able to come back and say, oh, and this is how my UX design journey started. I'll probably share how I even started doing this and what I'm doing today, maybe along the classes. So welcome everyone. So we've been talking for the last 15 minutes. So before we go further, I'll just like to, let me share my screen. I'm so used to using Google Meet, so I don't know if I can use Zoom again. Okay, let me share. Okay. Roland, do I have the ability to share? Who can share? Okay, all participants. Let's see.
Yes, you should. We are co-hosts. You and Chike are co-hosts, so you should have that privilege.
All right, let me share screen. Screen, basic. Sorry, guys, let me just get this. All right, while I'm still trying to share my screen, can someone just, can anyone just bell the cat and just explain, just give a little bit of introduction into who they are and what they are currently doing? why is it that whenever anywhere in the world, anytime you ask people to just talk a bit about themselves, there's always one person that is waiting for someone else to build the car. Is that, am I hearing something?
Hello.
Yes. Go on.
Okay, my name is Bedamosi Abubakar.
Okay.
Presently, I'm an instructor, a web instructor at a school like that. And although I've been conversant with some softwares like the Adobe XD and Figma, but I do have problem with perception about UI/UX, like the color disposition, the focus on visuals, and the like of it, which is making me to like find it as a more reason to dive deep into UX, and I hope I'm going to find it worth being here. Been learning from the industry experts and getting knowledge from you, sir. Thank you.
All right, that was really rushed, but
can I take it again?
You can choose to quit. Is not do it. So
can
man,
I take it again?
So I actually heard you. I heard what you said. And if I'm being honest, much like you, I'm not colors. Or I can say I wasn't very good until say recently, say earlier. Now the good thing is that most apps are not color intensive like that. If you check, you'll find that most apps use say 1, 2, at most 3 colors. Yeah, and then oftentimes you would have a color scheme with which you would work, and then with a course or two on how to work with colors and how to combine colors, you find that you become much better at it. Yeah, so yes, you have come to the right place, and give it some time, you'll become better with mixing colors. Does that help you? Okay.
oh sorry. So I came back and I was on mute. Chike, I think I got the last thing you were saying, which is the idea of practicing and and stuff, which was very good. But I must say thanks for sharing. I'm sorry, can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So who wants to go next? Who wants to go next? I mean, I can call names, but it's better if people just volunteer. Please just introduce yourself, what you're currently doing now, what you're hoping to get out of the class.
Okay, my name is Damilola Balogun. I'm currently a graphic designer, but then, okay, so I want to move to UIUX. I know a bit about Figma. I've attended just like free introductory class of Figma, but I've not really worked with it. I want to be able to design responsive website. I mean, when you prototype and to design something live, to bring life to something, not just a static design. So that's what I'm hoping to get here.
Okay, so Damilola, you said you're hoping to bring something that is static to life. So would you say with the current knowledge you have about Figma, do you want to be able to learn how to take your designs from being just static to building a website or building an app?
Yes.
Okay. So this class, I mean, this is why we're asking these questions anyway. This class or this range of classes is actually to drill you down into understanding UX fundamentals, right? Because like you said, you are a graphic designer, but a whole lot of times UX actually involves more than just graphic. I understand where you're coming from because yes, I used to be the guy that used to design stuff, and then whether by being kind of the opportunity presented itself or I just had to go into that role. I became the guy that was no longer designing per se, but I was now coding what other people were designing. So, but this class actually focuses on UX design rather than being able to build it out into an app or a an app or a website. Because that would, unless this class would be like 40 weeks instead of 13 weeks. So those are two different disciplines. However, if you stick during this class, being able to know, because here's one thing, right? You could design something static, and by the time you hand it over to, let me assume you hand it over to a developer, they might not even be able to use what you did because what you did is either too impracticable, is not being able to be designed, or maybe the way you handed off gives the developers more questions than answers, right? So yes, if you do actually want to learn how to build your apps or build your ideas, there are probably other resources that would be better for that. But this class is specifically for UX. And truth of the matter is that if you want to be able to have a startup tomorrow, it kind of makes sense to be able to understand how to do UX. There's so many things. I myself, I mean, like Chike has said, we started off as graphic designers, but there are so many things that you need to understand before even a website or an app gets built. And all too often in our industry, we are seen to be like the people. I mean, it happened as to even to me as recent as 2 months, where a friend of mine who is a programmer, he said he had finished building the prototype to a particular extent, and now say, Gabriel, guy, this app, come and help me design it. And I'm like, bro, you've already built this thing to a particular level. Unfortunately, as UX designers, we are most times considered the painters. They finish building the house, no matter how they've built it, whether the steps are unaligned or whatever. As a UX designer, they are just saying, yeah, come and add paint to it, come and make it fine. That is not our job. In fact, our job is not just to make things beautiful. They are actually to make things usable for people to use, right? That's tautology, but hopefully you get it. So just stick around. Unfortunately, I just needed to make that clear. So if you are coming to the class hoping to be able to build out websites or build out mobile apps, unfortunately, we're not going to be covering that. However, I promise you that whatever you're going to learn here will be able to build better apps and better websites and make I am a developer, and trust me, someone commented recently that the crop of UX designers we have these days know about how to design things, but not how to do user experience design, which is true. A whole lot of people care only about the visuals, but the process to get there, most people are lacking, and that's what we're hoping to provide in this class. All right. Okay, so someone else can, or maybe we should just go it according to Tal. So Ethel, can you just introduce yourself? Usman Musa, sorry. Glad you could join this class. Sorry, you're in the hospital. Hope you get well soon. All right, who is going next? Ita, I saw you on
Okay,
video.
great.
No, just go.
Please, can they kindly turn on your video? Yeah. Please, let's put a face to who is talking. Right. Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Just want to talk. I know not everybody might have the best ideal background, but if you can, just for the 1 minute you're going to introduce yourself, please go ahead and just turn on your video briefly.
All right, can everyone see me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Ethel. I currently work as a customer support agent. I'm thinking of switching careers by the end of this year. So I've been working as a support agent for a while, and I came across the UX design and I fell in love with it. Like, I wanted to know what it feels like to actually experience an app, like using it and ensure that people get to use it conveniently. So I was excited when I got this link, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Cool. Ethel, welcome. Something I probably have to, maybe, I hope I'm not talking too much, but I want everybody to know that your whatever background you have would have a way of making your work better, right? One of my best and ironically most stressful jobs I've ever done is being a bartender, right? But it helped me. You might not understand how it relates to you, and maybe it doesn't, but it helped me come out of my shell to be able to talk to people. I was put in a situation whereby I had to interact with people. I still, well, I don't think I'm that shy anymore, but I'm still very reserved, in a whole lot of spaces. So, but that particular job made me come out of my shell to be able to speak to people. I know a friend of mine too who is currently working at Jumia as a customer service representative. And if you have done this job for a while now, you will understand that you understand how to like listen to people and work with people. So trust me, it's a skill that is going to come in when you have to start doing research and speaking to people and all that. All right, going on, I think the next person on the tower is Chinel Izu. Please, if I spell your name, just correct it when you come on to speak. So I think Chanel Izu is next, and then after her would have Ijere Obina. All right, so Izu, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Morning.
Chanel is
on your video. That would be nice. But go on.
I can actually turn on my video now.
Oh, that's fine.
I am. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I said presently I work as a personal assistant, but I'm actually thinking of transitioning into UX design, and I started some classes and certification early this year through Google, and we've gone far. I've gotten to the prototype aspect, so I just wanted to join this class and expand my knowledge more and everything. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, great. I've heard good things about that Google UX course, and I think I might actually do it myself, even though I'm already enrolled in another one. But yes, I would actually recommend it. Chiki has gone through it. Right, Chiki, you've gone through the Google UX course. Oh, I don't know. Okay, Chiki, I don't know if you can hear me or if you're still on mute. But I think Chiki has gone through the course and he actually has good things to say about it. All right, Ijere Obina. After Obina, we have Joy Okosu next. So Obina, if you're still on the call, please introduce yourself. All right, Joy, are you close?
Yes, I am.
All right, go on.
Just give me a minute. Let me turn on video.
All right,
Okay.
so Precious Kano, you are next after Joy. Okay, Joy, you have the floor.
Yeah, sorry, I can't turn on my video for some reason. So my name is Joy Okosum. I work with an ad tech platform as a business development strategist. And well, I've done a bit of graphics before now. And I thought that UI/UX, based on the current trend in terms of career, and being that I'm looking at switching career in the coming months, this will be an opportunity for me to be able to leverage better in terms of opportunities. Thank you.
All right, that's awesome. Just before you go, have you worked with, in your current role, have you had to interface with UX designers before?
So basically where I work, it's more like a platform for advertisers to display their ads, more like Google, but rather one of Google's competitions. Discuss with our tech team sometimes during our product academic classes. And I feel like I want to be able to create something that I can evaluate and see based compared to what I currently do, which is more like selling a service. I can come up with a product with a group of people that is tangible and something that I can actually also help people to leverage on.
Okay, all right, that's beautiful. The reason I asked that question is because at times, as UX designers, we have, in fact, there's a podcast called UX Defenders, if I'm not mistaken. And UX designers, our role is ideally is to work for the users and make sure that the users have what they need to be able to go from A to Z. But NEPA struck. I'm so glad I switched. I hope everyone can still hear me. So usually the goal of the UX designer is to make sure that the user is prioritized, but all too often, sometimes we forget that a business is a business, right? A business exists to make money, but while they want to make money and create impact, they need to be able to design effective things for people to use. So if you have a business, they definitely people need to be, yes, the business needs to make money, but also they need to be able to create products that can actually work for the user. So I believe you're actually in a good place. You're actually in a good place. But if you do make that switch, which I'm hoping you do, yes, UX User Defenders, that's the podcast. If you do, it was posted in the training by Roland, in the chat by Roland. So when you do switch to become a UX designer, you would actually see some of your roles cross-matching between able to balance what the company wants to do versus what the user needs to be able to do. All right, Precious Kano, you're up next. And okay, Damilola, I think you introduced yourself before. Okay, so that's fine. If you still want to go again, that's fine. So Precious Kano, you're up next. Obina, if you're still on, just put a message in the chat so I know to call you next. So Precious Kano.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead to introduce yourself.
Okay. Precious Kano. And basically, I have no knowledge about UX design. So I'm hoping to get at least basic knowledge about it. And formerly, I worked in a bank as a marketer, but when I jumped into this training, someone sent the link to me. I was like, this one will be nice. So let me just, instead of facing bank job, let me just transit into tech. That's it. I just hope I'll get basic knowledge from this.
Okay. Yes. Yes, basic knowledge, intermediate knowledge, because the idea, thank you, Precious. The idea is that we get Roland is here. The belief is not just that we introduce people to UX. We want the goal, like, see, my greatest happiness is that if you have in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months, you could actually have a job as a UX designer, right? It is very possible. It is very, very possible. And the good thing about this is that it's a job that you can do not just in Nigeria, but anywhere else, right? Anywhere else is because, I mean, it's global, right? You're not limited by location. So I want you to take this serious, and hopefully we'll see what the next 6 months hold. All right, Damilola, Habiba, you're up next.
And Gabriel, sorry, let me just add before Damilola comes in.
Okay.
So just like you said, so the idea is not just to do the introductory phase for you. We also, our objective is to give you the practical knowledge that you need. How you can, the practical knowledge you need in case you are going for job interviews. Because this is not the first UX design course we're doing. The last one we had, most of the people who were active throughout that period, some of them are fully employed today. Because I know a few that we are constantly in communication with. So, and then one other thing we also do is when we get to a stage where we know that, okay, people are fully like job ready, at least to get an entry level, we also post opportunities on the group as it comes. So if we are serious, the curriculum is well structured to give you the skills that you need to at least get an entry level opportunity, and then you can take it up from there. So that's awesome.
All right, so that's basically it. Yes, you have a good idea, but our goal is to actually get you job ready. All right, Damilola. After Damilola, we have Abubakar Waliat next. So Damilola, the floor is yours.
Oh, I was the one that introduced myself earlier.
Oh, okay.
Again.
Okay. All right then. Abubakar Waliat, you're up next.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Abubakar Waliat, and I am a fresh graduate. I'm glad I had the opportunity to take this course. And I started this IT line when I was in GS3. So from there, I took different classes on graphic design. Then, coupled with the fact that I'm good with that, I decided to take it further. So that's why I joined this, and I really hope to gain more knowledge from this. And I think you mentioned that you are focusing on UX fundamentals or also, I'm not sure, but what about, is it joined together with like UIUX, or it's just UX only?
Okay. Thank you for joining. Yes, it is both, right? You can't. So actually, we usually call it UI UX design, but the truth of the matter is that UI is kind of like a sub. Talk about like a Venn diagram, and UI is a small part of it. The other part that isn't so sexy that people talk about is user research, doing personas, carrying out usability tests and all of that. Those are things that are equally very important. But UI is kind of seems to be, because I mean, when you go to Dribble, when you go to Behance and you see a UX portfolio, basically you're seeing visuals, but it's actually more than that.
Okay.
So that is definitely going to be covered. Yes, we're going to, Chike has already mentioned that we're going to be doing, basically we're going to be teaching you how to use Figma, but in reality, the course is actually going to go larger than that. And like I said before, and I'll still say it again, if this Saturday, until between Monday and Friday, and the next time you are hearing anything about UX is, if you're just going to do Saturday, you need to every day read something about it, maybe practice a little, watch videos. That is why the Slack channel is going to be available for everybody to join. It is very important that you keep your mind on this during the week, as you just read something, watch a YouTube video about UX design, try and open Figma. Figma is free. That's one of the reasons why we're using it for this class. Figma is free. Adobe XD is free, but is the standard these days is Figma, and we'll talk about that later. All right, I think Baromosi shared. So next person on the call is Oguma Joy. And after that, we would have Robinson Jerry and Binga Adiemo. All right, so Joy, you have the floor.
Okay, good morning. My name is Oguma Joy Ojempa. I'm currently working at Mayo Farm and Agro Services as a sales manager. And can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, you can. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. And I'm new to UIUX. I don't have any knowledge about UIUX. I was just introduced to it last month. So I am hoping to switch career, and I'm hoping to get the best of everything in this class. Thank you.
Okay, that's cool. Just before we go on, a bit of a disclaimer. I believe Roland may have said it, but currently, Roland, this is streaming to YouTube, right? Is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so please feel free. I mean, we want this to be open, but you know, if you're mentioning you're switching careers, maybe you don't need to mention where you're currently working, you know, that kind of thing. Just for reasons that we probably might not understand is fine. But gaining skills, nobody's going to prosecute you for trying to gain new skills, and that's totally great. All right, so next person on the call is Robinson Jerry. After Robinson, we'll have Binga Adeyemo. So Robinson, the floor is yours now.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, we can.
Yeah, my name is Robinson Jerry Chukudi. I currently work as an administrator in First Reach Limited. I was introduced to UX by my elder sister and also a friend, and I'm desperate to gain new skills, like an IT skills. I really want to do something that is valuable, something that is acceptable worldwide. And I'm really, really happy to be in this class, and I really want to take it to the next level. Thank you very much.
Okay, Robinson. Yeah, that's great. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. Okay. All right. Yes, so like I said, my greatest joy for Chike and Roland is being able to 6 months, even if it's 5 people. In fact, okay, we have like 15 people on the call. Even if it's 10, 5, 8 people that are able to tell us that, look, based on this training, we're able to get a job, and now we're doing this in UX. right? And that's the goal. But even if you don't, these lessons are going to be able to teach you the fundamentals to the point that if tomorrow you decide to start and create a SaaS company, that's software as a service company, or a tech business, or even if it's non-profit, you would have an idea of what to do. You wouldn't just be starting from the very scratch. All right, so next on the call is Benga, and after that, I think I'll just do a little bit of presentation and we can call it a day. All right, Benga, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chike. Good morning, Gabriel. I'm happy to be here, and I believe that this platform will give me an opportunity to learn more about UI UX. Although I've been doing some kind of self-learning myself, because I had a friend. What encouraged me was I had a friend who was working in a bank, and then when I started my own career path as a data analyst, it was really keen on what IT career path can he follow or something like that. So I encouraged him then. Then there was a day he called me that, okay, after final thinking and everything, that he chose to go into UIUX. And today, I must say that he's really doing well. In fact, he resigned from his banking job, was working in the sales, and he's fully into UIUX now, and that's really encouraging. And when I was thinking about it, like, okay, what other IT career path can I add to my knowledge I already have in some aspects? And UIUX was more like attractive for me because personally as a person, I love designs. And whenever I see people doing a lot of fantastic things with design, I'm like, wow. So for that reason, I said, okay, let me try out UIUX. And I've read a lot about it. It prospects globally, worldwide. And I feel like it's something that really had value to me as a person. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Benga, that's really nice. Here's the truth of the matter is that the opportunities are, even in UX, there's a whole lot of opportunities. We're just scratching the surface, right? So I can assure everyone here, whatever knowledge that you learn here would definitely not be in vain. It would really, really help you. One of the biggest issues I see, especially with a whole lot of startup founders, is that they are not exactly sure they have an idea for their product, right? But sometimes they don't have like an inkling of where to start from. This is where you as a UX designer can come in. Your job is not just to design, it's not just to build stuff, but it's also to be able to advise. All right, so I think Maiwa is trying to connect his audio. So Maiwa, if you're in the class, please introduce yourself, or Maiwa. I think Maiwa will be the last person to do introduction, so we'll just go straight into discussions. Okay, if he's not speaking now, I'll just go straight into our class for today, which will be very, very short anyway. And yeah, so just hang around for it. Okay, so just hold on, let me share my screen. All right, so can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. All right, so I really wanted to start with this question: why are you here? Because trust me, probably some people just stumbled upon this class or somewhere, or some people are just curious to understand what UX is about, and would also explain that in the class. But I'm glad that everyone, at least we have a bit of understanding as to why we're here and what we're aim to do in the next 13 weeks. We're hoping to kind of drill the fundamentals of UX into everyone that is in this class. so that beyond just your own personal practice, when you're speaking to recruiters or to a company, you know your stuff, right? You know what you're talking about. All right, so let's get into it. This would be, I want this to be a discussion as much as possible. So please indulge me. So can someone just give me like a brief understanding of what they think of what they feel design is? Sorry, please, if you want to speak, please, you can unmute your mic.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. From my own perspective, and coming from my background, I would say design is a representation of ideas and perspective, just like that.
That's very loaded. Okay, I'll break it down now. So I hope everyone can still see my screen. I'm trying to switch back to the Zoom to know who is speaking.
Hello, I said.
Okay. Okay. Please, can you explain that? Can you explain that back to us? Like,
Okay,
can you break it down?
Okay, there's nothing. Okay. I say design is just like representation of ideas using different tools. I don't know, but you know, we have some people, they call themselves visual designer. Those are the artists. They design something out of what they think. And so design is just like basically representation of ideas, bringing out the ideas in somebody to life.
Okay. That makes sense. So can someone else just give me like what their own understanding of design is?
To me, I can say design is something you create out of your feelings or your thinking. Like in simple words, something that you create out of how you feel or out of how you think about that thing. That's just what my simple words.
Okay. All right. So check this, right? All of us probably, some people are sitting on the bed, some people are sitting on the chair, right? What if I designed the chair? And okay, if we say design is based on how we feel, how we want to express our personalities to the world, or that, what if I designed a chair and let me say I put nails right on the chair? It looks like a chair, but do you think people would be able to use that chair?
No.
Why not? But it's a chair. It has 4 legs. It has the back for you to rest on.
Then definitely it's not built for usability.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's, and but I like what both of you said. And you know, there's a whole lot of, if everyone can see my screen, please, if you can't, just drop it in the chat. Yes. Damilola said design is visual communication. Yes, it is. There's a whole lot of, because design is in so many industries, right? You have different kind of people who are doing design for various industries. For us as UX designers, a whole lot of us are designing things that are not physical. They are more things that would live on a screen, or they would live on your phone and all of that. So, and there are also industrial designers, people who build buildings and roads and all of that. So design is actually very multifaceted, and based on the industry that you are, you would have different definitions for it. So I just put up some of these things that people feel is design. You know, I've heard, trust me, there's probably nothing I've not heard when it comes to designing the product and getting feedback for it. But I'll just use a very nice definition that I saw, and you guys can also check it out online. So basically, from the Strat School of Design says, It is the process of envisioning and planning the creation of objects, interactive systems, buildings, vehicles. So the beauty about our job as UX designers is that basically we help to create things that people can use from almost out of nothing. So check it today, the table that you're sitting on, the laptop that you're using, the phone you're using, the book you are using, everything was designed, whether it was done purposely or not. Basically, everything in this world was designed. And if you check it, most times you don't say, okay, you want to design something and you just start designing it, right? There's a thought process. Sorry. There's a thought process that goes towards it. You are not just designing for yourself, although there have been jokes. There was a time, if any of you are active on Twitter, there was a time when there was this joke around the design community that was saying Oga-centered design, which is people are employed to do UX design, but instead they are doing design for their bosses. They are doing design that their Ogas see they should do, as opposed to building for the people that you are trying to create the product for. So here it is bold. I actually bolded this this phrase here, which says user-centered, right? Anything that you are going to design, anything that you are going to do, please have it at the back of your mind that you are not doing it for yourself, right? You are also doing it for people who you probably have not lived with them. You don't know their experiences. So you need to learn to put yourself in their shoes. UX design or UI design is not about just creating beautiful things. You actually have to consider the people that you are creating these things for. Take, for instance, if some of your parents, if some of our parents use glasses, right? If you're going to design a mobile app for people who are, let me say, 60 or like senior citizens, one of the things you have to consider is, how do these people currently use? How do they navigate their lives? For instance, if I wanted to design a mobile app for someone of my mom's age or my grandmom to use, one of the things I have to consider is that at their age, some of them, their eyesight is failing. So as I'm designing or I'm building anything, I have to make sure that the fonts are big. I have to make sure that it's visible, right? If you are designing things for children, you have to make sure that the colors are vibrant, because those are the things that will probably keep them engaged. So before you even start designing anything, there is the thought process that goes into anything that we do. Like I mentioned with the chair example, yes, you can actually make something that looks like a chair, but if people can't use it, which is the idea of being able to sit down on the chair and maybe study or wherever, if it is not comfortable for them, then your job has actually not even begun, right? So please, and please, even though our industry is very visually based, I want us to move to that point where we understand that people need to be able, for your job to be complete as a UX designer, people need to be able to use what it is that you created for them in the best manner that is possible. Sometimes that might mean you being at loggerheads with the business. We would probably talk about that as the weeks go by. But please understand that our job is to solve problems, not just to make things beautiful, but to solve problems. All right, so going into what exactly UX design is, I found this definition which talks about product design, because a whole lot of times there's UX design, user interaction design, user-centered designer, product designer. Our role has a whole lot of definitions. So I found this. It says, designing a new product goes through an analytical process and relies on problem-solving approach to improve the quality of life of the end user and his or her interaction with the environment. What we do is we're solving problems. Basically, that's what we do. So if you're able to have this at the back of your mind as a UX designer, it makes your job a little bit easier. It makes your job a whole lot easier. For instance, for me, I don't understand why I have to visit a website, and the first thing that jumps to my face is a pop-up. Like, bro, I'm coming here to get information, but the first thing that you're serving to me is a pop-up. Sometimes with a whole lot of the cookies that we see today, they are so obtrusive that let me see. I don't know if I'll be able to find it and share, but I went to this website and the cookie basically told me that, please, we would like you to accept our cookies. You can accept our cookies, or you can decline our cookies, but they did not give me the option to decline. So in my mind, I'm asking them, why are you making it seem like it's an option when you don't give me the option to say no, right? It's like how Henry Ford, when he created the first T models, and people were asking, oh, can they get other colors? And he was famously quoted to have said that you can have the T model in any color that you want, provided it is black, right? So it is very important that we consider the people that we're designing for, whether you're designing a mobile app, whether you're designing a website, whatever it is. Understand that you have to put the person that you're designing for at the middle of it, which means basically you need to have empathy enough to get into their shoes to understand what it is that they want to get out of this product they are trying to serve to them. Then there's also this website is a website you definitely want to have on your bookmarks. It's in the interaction design. They also have some very nice courses on there. And I like their definition of user experience design. And it says it's a process of acquiring and integrating the products, including aspects of branding, design, usability, and function. So if you can see, design is just out of one of the 4 things I mentioned here. Usability is very important. A delightful experience for your users is very, 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 very important as well. All right, so as I was researching for this class, I went to go and find some objects for that we could actually discuss about. So if anyone wants to just go ahead and explain how they feel about this, let's just talk about this chair for a minute. Can someone just explain why this doesn't look like a good idea? Hello, if you are speaking, you can unmute your mic.
Okay. The idea of the share is actually from my own end, from my own view. I don't think it's built for general purpose, and maybe it has a specific user it was built for, or not even built for any particular reason. And the spoon beside it, maybe let me say it's meant for manageability. Let me see that it's what it do.
Okay, so we can, without anybody having to, okay, can we have more people chiming on this? I'm going to be calling out the women on this call because so far it has just been the guys talking, and like we say, I'm actually glad that we have kind of like a balance in terms of gender on this call, because like you would know already, there is a whole lot of talk about women not being in tech, and we want to be able to change that. So please, can someone just explain why these don't look like, they look like, I mean, if you look at it, you know it's a chair. If you look at this, you know it's a spoon, but why are these objects not usable in your own opinion?
I would say for the chair, it's not built for user. It's not user friendly.
Why is
it's
it
not
user friendly?
it's not built to be sat on, because that's the purpose. There's the purpose for chair is to be sat on, and that it's not built for that. Then also the spoon, the purpose for a spoon is to be used to eat, and for what is being built, it's not user friendly. It cannot be used for its purpose. So that's what I think.
Okay. Why is it without using the term user friendly? Because that is the term that we threw around. If you were to, why is it not? Because it is a spoon, right? It actually allows you to scoop something, whether it's actually allows you to scoop stuff. So why is it not without using the term user friendly? Why is it not? Why do you think it wouldn't work?
I think for the spoon, it wouldn't work because it's meant to how would I put it now? Since I'm not using the term user friendly, it's the user experience with it. It's not
without using those terms,
Okay, I have something to say on this.
Okay, but I want you please just before let us just finish first before you come in.
okay. For the chair, the purpose of the chair cannot be achieved. It cannot be achieved. You can't sit on it properly because it's not going to be comfortable. And also for the spoon,
Thank you.
the purpose will not be achieved because you can't eat with it. It can't actually scoop anything into your mouth. Fine, it can be meant to scoop something, but it can't go into your mouth.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're finally coming out. So please, let's try as much as possible to avoid using technical terms like I've used them before to move people. The idea of this class is for us to have the understanding. So, Madam Mosi, please, yes, you have the floor. Then Waliat, you next. So, Madam Mosi, go on.
Okay, on the spoon, I have to say something on the spoon. The spoon there is a limitation to who can use it, or maybe to its usage. Like there has been a limitation based on the build, the design of the spoon. There has been a limitation to it, so it's not it's not meant for. Let me just see that, sir.
Okay, and what about the chair?
The chair maybe it's built for special kind of people. Yes, sir.
So here's the funny thing, right? What if this chair is no one okay, before let me not Waliyat, before I say anything, Waliyat, go on.
What I see is that first the chair. Okay, let's say for example, it was built for short people. So even if they try to sit down comfortably, they won't be able to use it. So that's what I see. It's not going to be effective for them. And for the spoon, even if a baby tries to use the spoon, it won't even enter the baby's mouth, not to talk of the food getting to the baby's mouth. So the person that tried to design this did not consider the user. So that's what I see.
Okay. I like everybody's, but let me play devil's advocate here for a minute, right? What if this chair, let's say this chair, and by the way, of course, this objects were designed by Katerina Kamprani, and if you put her name in Google and add wire.com, you would see some of the other objects that she designed. But I really liked being able to use this too. Let me play devil's advocate here for a minute. What if this chair, let's assume that this chair, as you're looking at it, like everybody is thinking that this chair is solid. What if the idea of the designer behind this chair was that when you sit down on it, it will now get suppressed in and become like a normal chair? What if? How come nobody considered that?
Okay.
Yeah,
Can you
okay.
hear me?
Yes, Joy, go on.
All right, that is a possibility. But in that case, the designer that constructed the chair did consider how the user perceives the product. So in terms of usability for the user side, there's no consideration. You are just assuming based on your own design and creativity that the user can come to that conclusion. But then there is the restriction of how the user perceives the product at first glance. When I interact with this product, what comes to mind? Do I have to start solving a complex uh, case scenario to be able to fully utilize this product? Or it just comes to mind that when the designer was creating the product, created it with the user in mind for ease of use and adaptation.
Yes, that basically encompasses it. So there is, and that thank you for that, because when we design, who drew this green line over my slide? All right. When we design, a whole lot of times they say the best user interfaces are invisible. Why they say that is, it's nice when you are able to pick up some. How many people? Okay, we all use phones here. How many people have honestly, you picked up your phone the first time you bought the phone that you're currently using? Let's just assume you bought like it's inside its box. How many of us opened the manual to go and read through the whole manual before using the phone? How many people? How many people?
I don't think there's any way that has to do that, sir.
Okay. I mean, we have like 15 people on this call. So if anybody has used the manual on their phone, like they bought a new phone and they read through the manual before using it, please raise your hands up. And okay, Joy, you have, which is great. But the reason why that doesn't happen frequently, and even though it should, is because over time, beyond just the fact that we've used phones, over time, we kind of expect that once we pick it up, there are certain things that we expect that the keyboard is going to be at the lower bottom of the phone, not at the upper side of the phone. We already expect certain things to be certain ways. And that's the same thing with designing things, right? In the real UX term is called affordance, which is a property. Basically, affordances are defined as maybe a property or a feature of an object which presents a prompt on which something can be done with that object. For instance, if you walk towards a door, right? In a way, you're kind of expecting that door to have a handle so that you'll be able to turn it or push the door or pull the door, right? Those are called affordances. So when you are designing, it makes sense to either you're using a convention that most people are aware of, or you're designing something in such a way that when someone sees it from the first time that they see it, they automatically know without you having to write English there, because truth be told, you might be designing something for someone that because you can speak English, because you can read English, but you might be designing something for someone who probably their best, how they understand the world is through reading it from Mandarin. But nevertheless, you want to be able to have something that once people just see it, once people just pick it up, they can use it from the get-go. All right. So I'm glad we had a nice conversation about this object. So the next one is these two objects here. And we know one is a kettle, we know one is a pot. So I just want someone to explain to me what they think is, well, maybe this might be my own, or this might be my own feedback, but is there anything wrong with any of these utensils here? I just want to have let's have a discussion about it. So anyone wants to go? What do you think is, if any of these objects have any deficiencies? Hello. So based on, we just looked at two objects. Now we're looking at this ones. Can someone just explain to me if they think these are well designed or not? Let's have a conversation. What do you think about the kettle? What do you think about the pot?
Okay, can I go?
Yes, go on.
Okay. Firstly, it looks appealing to the eyes. Although I'm not related to it, I'm seeing it just from my own view. Okay, it looks very appealing to the eyes, and it's all depends on the taste. Like what I want to be using it for. Some I want to be using it for a smaller purpose. Some I want to be using it for a bigger perspective like that. So to me, it's until I get to use it that's how I will know maybe if something is really wrong with it or not.
But we all have kettles and we all have pots in our home. So
Yes.
what do you need to be able to use it first?
the picture looks very appealing, but the inside, who knows?
Okay. Does someone else have another?
Can I try?
Yes, go on.
Okay, so I think the pot is okay, the design and all that is fine,
Yes.
but the kettle, to me, I would have preferred the kettle's handle being by the side. That way I get to lift the cover if I want to. And
Okay.
also, yes, and for the top of the whistle part of it, it's a great idea because I could be lost in something else and I won't hear it whistling. Or rather, I'll hear it whistling. That'll call my attention to, okay, my water is boiling.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I feel. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Who else has any strong opinions about this pot or kettle? Do you think it looks? I mean, we have pot and kettles in our home. So do you think it looks great? Do you think there's something that could be improved?
I would say the handles.
Okay, what about the handles?
I don't know if it's steel or aluminum. But the thing is, I don't think it. I think it will get very hot when touching it or something. I would prefer if it had something like another handle that could be handled like not.
Okay, that's cool. I think we have someone new in the class, Olive. I don't think you introduced yourself, but anyway, going on, what do you think what's your view about this utensils that we have on the screen? Hello, Olive, if you can hear, just unmute yourself. Oh, okay. I don't know if she's close. All right. I think it was Joy down. Okay. All right. Let me go on. Let me go ahead to talk about.
Can I try before you go?
Okay. Yes. Go on.
Okay. So I think the design is good. The only issue that might be is with the pot in terms of the handle for the cover. It is not designed well enough because when it's hot, it's not designed well enough to be able to grip conveniently and open the lid. So for me, I would think that it's the lid and the handle for the cover of the pot. Bearing in mind that there's consideration that the handle might have been designed such that you can still lift when it's hot without a rag. But then the handle and the lid in terms of gripping conveniently or safely, the handle for the cover might be a bit of a challenge.
Awesome. Man, I'm so okay. I'm so glad that we have I think slowly we're beginning to see why UX design is important. Thank you, Joy. So first off, I didn't even notice, yes, I can't remember who mentioned about the whistle. The whistle is great. The whistle is absolutely great. I remember the first time I saw one of these kettles as a kid, I was like, man, this absolutely makes sense, because you could be boiling water and the thing has boiled, but you have no idea that it has. I just kind of wish they were able to do a similar thing for maybe your jollof rice, so that if it's burning, beyond just the smell, you could actually know that your rice is actually burning or your soup is burning or stuff like that. I love the idea behind this kettle, because yes, it looks very nice. It can hold a whole lot of water, but I can't remember who mentioned it. But let's look at the handles. In fact, when I use these pictures, because I have this kind of pots in my house, I've always wondered, even I inherited the pots, so it wasn't like I bought them, you know. I got the pots for free, but I've always wondered why pot makers make pots with metal handles. For goodness sake, I'm not cooking ice inside. I'm not putting it inside the fridge. So why am I meant to use something that is meant to make food hot, but at the same time, you don't make it easy for me to handle it? It doesn't make sense. It absolutely doesn't make sense. And that was what I was hoping people would be able to pick. Right. Let's even look at the handle of the kettle. There's another thing with kettles that I don't know if it's actually, I believe it's possible to design over, is that when I pick up a hot kettle, yeah, and I'm pouring the water out, sometimes the vapor from the handle, from the vapor that is coming out of the pot, sometimes hots my arm as I'm turning the water, pouring it into pill, or I'm turning it into something to make a bath. And I've wondered, how come people have not thought about this thing? It's so annoying. You get that. I probably have fought myself a couple of times just turning water from an electric kettle into a pail or stuff. So sometimes we might look at a product and we think there is, okay, I think, Damilola, were you saying or terms and conditions in terms of things that are not designed well? I'm not sure. But yes.
I meant reading when you said that phones come with user manuals and all. So I was saying that also terms and conditions, most of us don't read through them.
Yes.
Signing up a new, I don't know, you're signing in, you're just signing up for something, and then they say you should read terms and conditions. We just tick, read and accept something. That was what I was referring to.
Yeah. So if any of you have noticed recently, some companies or some design-centric companies have started to change how they do their terms and conditions, in the sense that first, when they release new terms and conditions, they would give you, and before they allow you to click accept, they would give you, even though it's like a 13-page document, they will give you like an overview of the major things that have changed. They will say, we did this to this, we did this to this, we did this to this. Then they will now they will now give you the option to accept, or they will now give you the option to go and read the entire thing. But at least they'll bring maybe the top 3 or the top 5 things that you should be concerned about before you click terms and conditions. That never used to happen before, So basically, all of this is just to bring you to have you understand that. If you notice, I didn't bring any websites, I didn't bring any app, I didn't bring any of that, because design is more than just some of the things that we see on our screen. It is in our everyday life. If you've ever hit your head on a transparent sliding door glass, you understand what I mean by that. They are better. So you see, you're going into a mall, and then they'll put one big sticker, fragile, or they'll put one big X, so that, because the glass is so clear, so that you don't walk into it and hit your head one day. So these are things that we as designers, I'm sure even by looking around you, you can see some things are not being designed well. There's always, if it has not been designed before, it can be designed. If it is already existing, there's possibly a way to make it better. That is why till tomorrow, Facebook, Twitter, and all of the popular applications that we use on our phones constantly evolve, because over time, they find out better ways to present the same thing that we've been having over the years, but they find out a better way to do it so that our lives can be better and so that they can make more money. Because the truth of the matter is that, yes, businesses, Facebook, Twitter, and co, they are all in the business of making money. And some way, one way or the other, they are going to design things that would look good for us, but would also give them the ability to also improve the bottom line and the revenues that they make. So we as designers, we are not just in the business. Take for instance now, the first people that started making pots that had rubber handles, or no, not rubber handles. I don't know what exact material that they use to that they coat on the handles of pots and kettles, that doesn't make it melt when it's hot. But can you imagine how much money? Can you imagine how much money that the first companies that started doing that were making? Because everybody's making iron pots, everybody's making iron kettle. Someone just says, wait. You can actually make this thing better by rubberizing the handles of this. And I can bet you that a whole lot of people bought into this product because it made their life easier. They have been boiling water for 20 years, and then suddenly, or for their whole life, and then suddenly someone creates something that makes their life even better. So I want us, to look at our jobs that way as well. All right. So if you search for Design of Everyday Things, is one of those books that will probably upload for people to. I've been designing or I've been in this field for 5-6 years, and I still haven't finished reading that book. Full disclaimer. And I'm so happy that, well, not happy per se, but sometime on Twitter, someone was asking who has actually finished reading Design of Everyday Things, and I'm so glad I wasn't the only one. So this book is written by Don Norman, he's an authority when it comes to user design, interaction design. And I believe he's one of the founders of the Interaction Design Foundation, which basically teaches people how to design better products. And so if you Google that book, is a yellow book with this kettle on the cover. And just like the other things that we have seen, this kettle kind of shows you just how possible it is to design something that looks nice, but cannot be used by the people that you're intending. Because let's assume that you put hot tea inside this. How do you now turn it? First, you could say that, okay, you can't use the handle, so you're going to hold it by the body. But guess what? Even ceramics conduct heat at some point. So you can't even hold it to turn. Chike, Dawn. Chike has finished reading. Chike has finished reading the book. I'm going to finish that book before these classes are over. I haven't finished reading the book. It was one of those books that was recommended, but I never finished reading it. Chike is done. He has finished reading the book. So I don't encourage piracy, but I'm going to put the book in the Slack channel so that people can actually read it. It's probably take you like less than 3 weeks to finish reading it, and it will give you a whole lot of knowledge when it comes to UX design. You would definitely love it. Is in terms of 3 books that you would have to read on UX, this one would always be there. It would always be there. So we'll definitely put inside the Slack channel so that people can have access to it. Please, who are these people drawing Ghana flag on top of my slide? All right. Moving forward. So we have this and we have this, the infamous Naira land. Can anybody explain if they think one is better than the other? Between this forum and this Naira land, please, can anyone just explain which one they prefer and why they prefer it, and if they think one of them is better than the other? All right, discussion time, discussion time.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Abubakar, go ahead.
Like
why do you think one is better than the other? If indeed it is better than the other, why do you think it is?
Okay. As for the Brave community page, it's well structured, it's well accessible, and it's representing. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one seeing it from that perspective, kind of. But on the other platform, it looks kind of scattered everywhere, just no commentary. I have to scroll up and down, started looking for pages, and in short, I prefer Brave. It's better.
Okay. So have you used Nairaland before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But have you used the Brave community forum before?
No, sir. This is the first time I'm seeing it, sir.
Okay, but why do you automatically think one is better than the other?
Because, sir, I've used Nairaland before, and I know how things were there. So, as in seeing something like this, even from the first instance, I can say, "Wow, this is what I would like to also visit and see how things work there." So, maybe after now, I'll do that, sir.
Okay. So there's something I wanted to say, but let's go on. Let's have this. Let's. I'm seeing some new people in the class. One person just jumped out. I was about. Let me see. Okay, Obinaya in the hospital. Sorry about that. Mayowa, what do you think about these two forums?
Okay. What I think, for me, I haven't looked at the two forums, that's the Brave and Nairaland. I have once tried Nairaland before, and I have never tried Brave before.
Okay.
But I think, for me, I'm seeing more of better in Nairaland than the other one called Brave.
So you say you're seeing more of?
I prefer Nairaland compared to Brave, for me.
Okay, why so?
Okay. For me, I can see the way the architecture of Nairaland is arranged, talking about some set of instruction from the beginning, having a place of adverts in the middle, and some other information whereby I scroll down. But so it's catch my attention to know which one I can bring. In fact, the adverts quickly catch my attention. If I want to go there, I can easily access it. And all of those points, I can easily see them from my own look. But the other one, which is, what's it called? Brave. I noticed everything just gathered together, tiny. In fact, I'm almost finding it difficult to see anything basically from my own hand here. I don't know, maybe it's because of the gadget I'm using. But everything seems so very, very tiny. I can't even pick or get the details of what each of them are saying from the other one, which is called Brave.
But so we have, so are you saying that you can't see help center and resources, browser support, Brave rewards, and all of that?
Yes, I can see those ones. All of them seem too much. That's what I am saying.
Okay. All right. Olive or Precious, what do you think about these two screenshots? Olive, Precious.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Precious.
Okay. This first one, to me, I can say it's readable and properly aligned. While the other one, it's looking scattered. Should I say it's not properly aligned? And the font is looking somehow in my eyes. Maybe it's because I'm using glasses, or I don't know. But I feel the first one is well aligned. Thank you.
Does anyone disagree with Precious, or what Precious or what Maiwa said before I go on?
Can I say something?
Yes, go on, Chanel.
I would say for the Naira land, I prefer the way it looks, because now if I'm going for science and technology, I know the actual place to click. I know if I'm going for programming, I know what to click. I know the particular amount of topics they have in that room or a room. Then if I go to the webmaster, the computer, I know particularly where to go. And I guess from the way it's being arranged, clicking the topics, you would know, be able to search the particular topics you want to go and see or you want to read on. Everything is well explained. For Brave, I would say you have to do more search. It's not really well explained. You have to click, go in and search for whatever it is you're looking for. But with Naira Land, it's easier. You just go straight. You know where you're going to. You go directly to where you want to click, and that's what I think.
Okay, all right. So this was actually Maiwa, you can mute now. This was actually you can mute now. You can mute now. This was a trick question in the sense that really none of them, in my own opinion, none of them is actually better than the other. When it comes to Naira Land, people always complain about the fact that, oh, it could look better. But here's the thing. The most important thing is that it works. There's pretty much, if you step into Naira Land today, there's pretty much nothing that you can't. It's not so difficult. Yes, it might not look like, something that was designed in the recent years, but the most important thing is that it works, it's fast, it doesn't take, especially for us as Nigerians that probably don't have access to the fastest internet possible. Naira Land loads fast. You don't need massive JavaScript for it to work. It just works, right? It just works. It does what it does, which is funny because Brave, I'm sure Brave uses a forum software called Discourse. And because even though many people may not have used it, but somehow we just like the fact that it looks nice. And it still goes back to what I said in the beginning, that yes, it's good for us to design things that look nice, but most importantly, what our job is meant to do is not just to make things that look nice, but make things that are functional, things that are actually good for us to use. Naira Land works, like regardless of what we may think of it, that okay, it looks like something that was designed in 1999. The most important thing is that when you come here, you can search, you can easily find all the categories. None of this things are actually better than the other. It's just our perception. Yes, maybe white and drop shadows look all cool and very modern, but at the end of the day, I want us to recall that, yes, we want you to design things that look nice, but beyond just them looking nice, they need to be able to be functional. Imagine if I came here, let me say this, I came on this Brave community site now, and I'm clicking, it looks nice and everything, and I'm clicking on, say, browser support, and it's taking 5 minutes to load, right? Or you click on it first, and the first thing that you see is a big pop-up that tells you that you cannot access this forum unless you sign in. That also affects the user experience. Or let me say, yes, yeah, you come here and you finally see maybe even Nairaland, for instance, you go to Nairaland and you finally see, you're trying to buy a phone or something, and you see a post about that phone, and then you click through, and the first thing you see is two pop-ups. One telling you, would you like to buy, or would you like to subscribe to this product? The other one is telling you, oh, you need to sign up to be able to see. It impacts the user experience, right? So basically what I was just trying to do with this exercise, one is not better than the other. I was just trying to bring us to the fact that as much as visuals are nice, as much as visuals build trust, right, it also is also very important that we prioritize making things that actually work. And as much as we think of things that look nice, we should also prioritize making things that work. So regardless of what you have, regardless of the beef you have towards Nairaland, it works, it does the job perfectly well. And sometimes they say if it's not broken, if it's not broken, then don't fix it. Yes, it could be improved in terms of visuals, but one thing is for sure is that it works, and maybe, we just need to trust. I mean, the fact that it works is more important than anything else, than what our own biases to how it looks like is. All right, so I think this will be the last thing that we'll cover before. Would also please, it's important that everybody, I don't know if Roland is still on the call, but it's important that everybody signs into the Slack forum, because a whole lot of these things that we've talked about here, I'm going to be providing links. Chike is going to be providing links as well. Please, if you have questions, we want to, even if whatever it is that you ask, even if we don't get to it immediately, you can be sure that you also have an answer. We want you to be, it's not just, yes, it's a Saturday class, but we want the learning to continue throughout the week, right? So what are design briefs, and why do we even need them? So if I came to you today and I said, someone comes to you and says, oh, I have this idea for us to create this crypto app for people to use. The last thing that you're going to, one of the first things, or rather, if you just jump into whatever tool it is that you're using and start designing, you're already doomed to fail. Because what is, okay, yes, it's a crypto app. Who is it for? Who are the people that are going to be using it? What are the types of cryptocurrency? What are the cryptocurrencies that are going to be sold on there? What is going to, there are certain questions that you need to ask, and there are certain things that your client or the business needs to provide to you to kind of enable you streamline what it is that you want to do. For the graphic designers that are in this class, I'm sure some of you have experiences whereby someone comes to you and says they want to design a brochure, or they want to design a logo, or maybe they want to design a website, and they come to you and they say, just be creative. Brethren, that's the biggest scam of the creative industry. For someone to just say, you know what, just do it. I know you're a very creative person, just do it. You have just bought trouble if you go ahead, because anything that doesn't have a definite beginning definitely is not going to have an end. So design briefs exist to kind of enable you to have a general overview of what you as the designer is meant to do, what the client is meant to do, what they aim to achieve, and expectations as to, okay, we would know that this project is at its completion, or we would know that we have achieved our goal if this and this are met, right? So basically it's like a document, yes, and it has to be a document. It has to be written so that you can't create a design brief over a call. Yes, you can discuss it, but the reason why it needs to be written and you as a designer and the client can sign off of it is so that whilst you're working on this project, or while you're working on this app or website, if in case somewhere along the line, the client comes and says, wait, this is not what we agreed upon, you have a document that you can go back and say, look, this is what you hope to achieve. This is what I was able to do. If there are any lapses in between, we know that this project is binding and it can help us curtail excesses. It can help us curtail, help us know that this thing is within the project and it is within scope, right? Before you do, it is very, very, very important that before you start anything, even Roland will tell you that before this class started, there were things that went ahead of time before us to say, okay, how do we want to do these classes? Do we want to make it physical? Do we want to make it online only? How many days in a week are we going to be doing this calls with everybody? How are we going to make sure that we get people to, I think I just got a message. Okay, how are we going to make sure that we get people to learn this, and how do we measure their progress week in, week out, month by month? So these are things that for everything that you're going to do, you actually have to have something that guides you so that you know that. So if you are going off the rails or you're going off the tangent, you have something that can call you back and say, okay, this is what we agreed on, and this is what we actually agreed on to do for this. So for our exercises this week, we are going to look at, let me see, everyone can see this. Oh man, it's green. And so for our exercise this week, I want to, and this, we're going to do this, I believe, either in the Google Classroom or in the Slack channel. We're all going to find out and document bad UI examples. The reason why I didn't use any, okay, maybe except for just Nairaland and the brief community, is that I want us first to have a general idea of how good products look, the affordances that good products are meant to have. So I didn't use any, I actually had screenshots of some of the apps I have in my phone, and I just wanted to discuss a little bit about why this works, why this is good, why this is not good, and stuff like that. But our exercise for this week is, and I think if Roland is still on the call, he will guide us on how and we're going to do them. But we're going to have the Slack group where all of us can share bad UI examples. So if there's pretty much that's the last thing, and that's my last slide. So first, we're going to find and document bad UI examples. I would want everybody, maybe there's a website that you use, there is a, please don't be tempted to bring a government website or a government design application. We know that generally some of them can be really bad. Although, who has used the continuous voter registration website by INEC? Has anybody signed up on the INEC continuous voter registration website?
I've done that.
Okay, yeah. I've
done that before.
What was your experience?
Man, yeah, so it's too clustered.
Okay.
Very clustered, I won't deny it.
Okay. For me, I found it very pleasant to use, actually. Based on, maybe not based on.
It's very pleasant.
Hello? Yes, go on.
Yes, it's pleasant. In fact, I love but the connections from one level to another, maybe because it is voters card and it has to do with you doing a lot of things on it. But for me, there are too much of engagements that I need to do before I can achieve my final thing to do there. That's what I see that is a challenge. But when it comes to the arrangement, it looks beautiful. I won't deny that.
Okay, so let me, I think everyone can see my screen, right? I think everyone can see. Okay. So this I actually, so these are, it's to design nice things is one of the hardest things you can do, right? To design nice things is one of, so this is, if yes, I think everybody's still seeing my screen. So because there are so many things to be done, this is why we have, but I believe I kudos to the people that were involved in designing it. I was able to check, I logged in, I was able to check where my card is, even though they did tell me that I need to upload 2 pictures, one of me smiling and one of me just emotionless. It was actually a very nice experience. This portal is probably one of the best, one of the best, one of the better, let me not say, but one of the better examples of government websites that actually they work. You are uploading a picture, you are putting information, it works. So please, beyond just this class, if you have not done your registration, please start and do it. I beg, 2023 is already close by. All right, so back to our exercise for today. I want all of us to, Roland, please, you would probably give some guidance as to how this will be done. I want
so
all of
just hi, can I come in?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So yeah, the Google Classroom has been created.
Yeah.
So it's just for you to create the assignment there, and then the link will be posted on the Slack channel for them to submit the assignment on the Google Classroom, and then you scores will be awarded. So the score is going to be part of the elimination process for the next phase.
Okay. All right. So I would like, so this is how we probably prefer it, right? If you find examples of, find and document bad UI examples. So one of the best ways to do this is check out maybe some of the apps that you use that frustrate you, and beyond just getting screenshots, you also have to tell us like why. Okay, so let's do it this way. Get a screenshot of a bad UI example. It could be a product that you'll probably have better context as to how to answer this if it is something that you currently use or something that someone you know uses, or you can just find something find one on the internet. But beyond just the screenshot, you need to be able to tell us why it is a bad UI example, and 1 or 2 things you would use, if you were to redesign this, how you would make it better. First off, find a bad UI example, tell us why it is not done well, and 2, tell us why, tell us one or two things that you would do to improve on it. So that's basically it. Then for a design, for the second one, Chike, are you still online?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so I don't know if we want to have everyone create a design brief, or if we want people to go and find examples of good design briefs. Because if we say create a design brief, I mean, if I was in this class, I would probably just do the easiest thing available. So I don't know how we're going to do, I'm not sure exactly how we're going to approach this number 2.
Okay, so there's something that I found somewhere that lets you create a design briefs. Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to share the link with you.
Okay. Is it brief box?
So I'm seeing fakeclients.com. I'm seeing.
Okay. Yeah. Fake clients.
So you can use stuff like that, then to create briefs for them, and they can search a few times until they find something that they like, and then that they can use.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So Chike, we're going to post the links in the same, yeah, in the Slack. Yes, we're going to post that in the Slack group. Then we'll also post links to places where you can generate design briefs. So we want you to be able to see, because like there's something, I'm going to post a link in the Slack group. A very good, I can't remember which year that article was written, but it talks about.
Sorry, please. Another meeting. The data analytics team are already waiting for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so guys, thank you for joining. I hope this class has been of value. Please, by the time everyone is added to the, I don't even have a thank you page, but by the time everyone is added to, well, anyway, thank you. By the time everyone is added to the Slack channel, and you will be able to have questions, you'll be able to interact. This class, especially for me, these classes are not just they are not just helping you, but they are also helping me as well, because it's forcing me to go back and understand things that I probably just did without having to document it. I have to bring them back, and because I have to teach you, we also have to research, and because we don't want to teach you rubbish, and we know that you're going to call us out on it. So in case you have questions, by the time we're all added to the Slack group, please post them, and we'll try as much as possible to help you through it. We'll also be posting links within the week of things you can read up and other resources to help your journey even better. So thank you, Chike. That's all from me. Chike, if you just like to add something before Roland throws us out of this room.
Well, it's been a good one. I hope that they continue the program until the end, and I look forward to my session with them.
All right, so that's all from us. To meet, I won't say next Saturday, because we'll still probably talk within the group. All right, so bye-bye. Thank you for joining. I'm looking forward to seeing you as as UX designers, working and creating good products in the nearest future.